Hello, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another live. Sorry, welcome back to the YouTube channel. And yeah, another match reaction, people. Another live stream match reaction. And yeah, let's get into it, people. Make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you are new. We're trying to hit 1K this year as soon as possible. 700 subscribers, roughly. 300 left. We are very, very close to 1K. Very, very close. So it would be nice to get that as soon as possible so that we can really start putting our foot in on this YouTube thing. But follow me at all social medias, GVO Mics, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We've also got GVO Mics clips on Instagram and TikTok as well, if you want to follow that for all the clips that you guys might like. Also, by the way, if there's anything that you want as a short clip that you want me to clip up and I'll upload, let me know which moment that you remember of, and I'll do that. But listen, we're going to get into everything. I know there's going to be more people here because we lost, but you're not really going to get the same mics that that you usually would in terms of like being angry and stuff like that. At this point, I don't really care. But let's go. Shout out to Melon. Don't think West Ham season is over, to be honest. Potter only just got here. Really shows the importance of a pre-season. The season was over a long time ago for me, but it's over because we're not competing for anything. So my whole thing is, when Potter came in, it's just stamp your authority on things. Try and get your identity, and this is your pre-season. This and the summer. It's like an extended pre-season. Just try and get used to what you have. Obviously, we need players. We still need to buy in a transfer window, whether that's a loan striker or not. We need forwards. But at the same time, if we don't get anyone, not only would I not be surprised, not that I wouldn't be bothered, because I still would be bothered, but because I don't really want to watch these players. Well, some of them. But this is basically pre-season. We're 13th or whatever, 14th. It's kind of over. It's been over. We're just not getting relegated. That's the only thing about that. Drop Michael to the bench. Big up Charlie as well. Big up Charlie. Yeah, we're gonna get onto that man. Get onto that guy in a minute. Shout out to Barrio as well. I said hold that. Of course. But obviously, shout out to Mello. Shout out to Nick. Again, you went to see your team get clapped alive. Yep. Just life of a West Ham fan, you know. Obviously, yeah. Barrio's addressed. He's a Chelsea fan. Why do you hate yourself? I'm assuming you're talking about Fabianski. We'll get into that. But this is the thing. This guy is the most under-criticized person to ever grace this club. Most under-criticized. Maybe him and Fornals. Fornals was never criticized because people wanted to fuck him. But with Fabianski, it seems that only he is the only goalkeeper in this club to make mistakes and never be allowed to be criticized for it. Areola was obviously Roberto because he was shite. But previous goalkeepers that we've had in the past have always been criticised, and this, don't get me wrong, Fabianski is still the best goalkeeper we've had in previous years, but doesn't mean he can't be criticised. Like, the mistakes he makes is genuinely, what's it called? Is like, some of the mistakes he makes is fucking abysmal. It's basic shit. You're 40 years old. Yeah, obviously. What do West Ham usually compete for? Well, now in general, mid-table, unfortunately, but that's kind of not what I'm talking about. My point is, we're not going for Europe this season, and we're not in the cups. I personally hold my club to a standard where we need to go for cups because we don't win them, rather than because we don't win them, why should we expect them, sort of thing. I'm not expecting to win a trophy, but we should go for them. Turn the mentality around and stuff like that. Now is the pre-season for next season. Exactly, Nick. Exactly. That's. But I'll come to your comments in a minute because you might have just arguing over West Ham and Chelsea. But yeah, I expected a draw today. Mainly because I thought with the amount of bodies I would be congested in the same spaces, playing similar formations. I didn't like the lineup. Souček in the left 10 and Cresswell in the back 3. Cresswell didn't do bad. He wasn't bad. He just didn't need to be there. Thought Emerson was. Is it? I still don't know if it's Munoz or I think it's Munoz. They're right back in it. I keep forgetting because there's a Rodrigo Muniz and there's Munoz. Hold on, let me check. Who's their right back? It's Munoz. Okay, Munoz. Here's my thing with with that as well, like the wing backs, like Wan-Bissaka was probably his worst game. Probably his worst game. Well, that and Fulham away. He doesn't really have many bad games. They got done by the wing back. Well, he didn't get done by Mitchell necessarily, but he done himself in possession. Munoz done Emerson. Like Emerson didn't really do much wrong, but it's just basic stuff where you're basically leading yourself to be man to man once you match up with the same formation. So when you are marking your man or you're 1v1 in any part of the pitch and you get beat, it's going to get longer. You're just losing numerically in the advantage on the pitch. Because I'm sitting so high up, I can see everything that's about to happen before, which is what makes it worse going to games, is because I sit quite high up. It's a good view, but the problem is you can see it tactically, which makes you even more nervous than you should be. I'm not nervous like watching now because there's no pressure right now. There's no pressure to do anything right now as a West Ham fan. But this is my problem. We put ourselves in this shit in the first place, where if Potter had a pre-season beforehand, we could have been much higher up the table. Don't get me wrong, we would have had to still buy different players because, listen, Edson Alvarez, for example, had one good game against Fulham, and everyone tried to overgas it because Potter was talking about how he's important and stuff. Obviously, Potter's going to say that in interviews. But what Graham Potter is, which is what I really like about him today, and probably one of the few positives, is he's proactive in his substitutions. This is probably the first West Ham manager we've had that so far, it's probably been 2 league games and 3 games overall, but he's proactive in substitutions. And what I mean by proactive is Lopetegui made early subs, but he was reactive. Moyes made late subs, and it was just players on for 5 minutes right at the end. So there's a difference. He put Lewis Orford on today. He wasn't lying when he was talking about the academy, because that's clearly why a big reason why he was brought in. Orford did well, apart from one crossfield pass that I just didn't think was needed. That was it. Other than that, he did his job. He kept it ticking. He was good in possession, which is all I asked for. If you're going to be playing in the deeper areas, trying to play make and stuff like that, just keep it ticking. Like a bit like how Carrick did. But obviously Orford isn't Carrick. Alvarez and Rodriguez didn't really do much wrong, but again, he's just not good enough, like just in terms of like progressing the ball. But again, this guy should be playing a game now and then, not starting week in, week out. Alvarez, Rodriguez, and Souček in the midfield is still an eyesore, regardless of the system. As much as it worked against Fulham, it didn't work today. So week in, week out, this ain't good enough. This ain't going to be good enough. But it's not because of Potter, it's because of the players this time. The reason why I say it's because of the players and not the manager. The manager's just come in. The manager has just come in. And I said before, I literally, like people that watch my videos, like, well, at least most of the videos, you would know that the stream, I think it was maybe the Lopetegui like celebration stream, or it was probably the FA Cup watch along, where I was talking about he's going to need progressive midfielders. I said this on Twitter as well. I said this on Twitter when people talk about bring James Ward-Prowse back. He wouldn't have done anything different today. Bringing Naya Faged back wouldn't have solved any problems either. So let's get on to the centre-backs as well. I didn't think Kilman had a bad game up until the goal. But Mavropanos makes Kilman a lot worse. Kilman has his deficiencies. Yes, he does. He definitely does. But if it wasn't for Kilman, we would be 3-0 down. He made some interceptions that when Eze was like just unmarked in the box, Kilman put his foot in. Mavropanos does fuck all. Mavropanos doesn't do anything. This guy just looks like a Minecraft character. He looks like Willie. He's just a human cardboard box. A human cuboid. The guy's just got a right angle on his fucking face. He doesn't do anything. The guy, it's not even just his defending. Like, he's not even one of them centre-backs that you are just good on the ball and you're not good at defending. He's not good on the ball. He takes too many touches on the ball. He's one of these modern-day centre-backs that has this like nonchalant gimmick where they take too many touches of the ball. So they think they are better than they actually are. No, my friend. Stop this diagonal passing. You've never been able to hit an accurate one. And you take about 4, 5, or 6 touches dribbling with it. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. This is the problem. You take too many touches, crossfield pass, diagonal when it goes off the pitch. What's the point? You're wasting the football. The thing is, the problem is with people online as well. Mavropanos' performances has made people believe that Tadebo's not good for whatever reason, because people just think that everyone is shit. Mavropanos drags Kilman down. The best I've seen us is when Tadebo and Kilman play together, because Tadebo fills in for the deficiencies that Kilman has, because they're a partnership. It's a centre-back partnership. You can both vibe off each other, sort of thing. Wan-Bissaka, bro, like, he had a good game until the last 20. I need more from Mohamed Kudus. Every game under Potter, he's had a good first half, and he's completely downgraded in the second half every fucking time because he doesn't dribble properly. He's not even driving with the ball anymore. I get that sometimes you're 3v1 at times, but I've seen you get out of them situations before. Again, I'm not saying, oh, you have to get out of it every time, but for the player that we know of you, I expect much more. And this is what I like about Potter. He's not afraid to take people off. So Paquetá came off this game. Kudus came off in the last game. Both justified. Both very justified. Obviously, you can't take everyone off, because if you did, then Kudus should have come off again today. Realistically, Kudus probably should be dropped. Put Guilherme or Ings, whatever. Put Guilherme or Ings there. And then switch it around, sort of thing. Guilherme needs minutes. Can't sell him to Saudi and all that nonsense, man. Like, what is the point? What was the point of signing him if you're going to sell him? There's no point. I'm not really too upbeat about this club in general, but I'm just kind of happy that we have a coach that is a coach and can use the youth as well. With the Mavropanos got sent off as well. I didn't even discuss that. Mavropanos got sent off. But I could see it coming from a mile off. Everyone that saw the lineups would know that Jean-Philippe Mateta versus Konstantinos Mavropanos is a complete mismatch. I don't even rate Mateta like that. I think he's good for Glasner's system. Outside the Glasner system, we were calling this guy one of the worst strikers in the league as neutrals watching Crystal Palace. However, he's doing really well under the Oliver Glasner system. Mateta versus Mavropanos. That's disgusting, bruv. It's like when I was talking about, I don't even rate Watkins like that. But Watkins against Mavropanos for the Villa game, Jesus Christ. Like, he actually did quite well until the goals went in. Like, I think he lets Kilman down a lot. I'm not saying that Kilman shouldn't be blamed, but most of the mistakes that come from our centre-backs comes from the opposition team's left-hand side going at Mavropanos when he's being dragged out wide. That's what I'm saying. You're leaving your centre-back exposed where he has to defend more than he's pretty much used to because of you. Now, as a centre-back yourself, why are you getting those kind of red cards? Second yellows. The only good thing is that we don't actually have to watch him next game, but we're going to lose to Villa anyway. We're probably going to lose to Chelsea. But I want to see some changes. Maybe put Caelan Casey there. It's a big ask to put him at Villa away, but Caelan Casey is fourth choice centre-back right now. He's probably going to put Edson Alvarez there. I know Thomas Souček filled in that centre-back at the end, but yeah. And listen, I'm not going to go at Thomas Souček too tough. He had a bad game, but it'll be very unfair for me to go back to raging at him like I was like in games before. He had a bad game, but he's had some good games recently, so it's kind of the odd one out. But I've maintained before, despite his good game against Fulham, all these midfielders need to be upgraded on. Alvarez, Rodriguez, and Souček need to be upgraded on. I'm getting to a point now where Paquetá needs to leave. I know people don't like to hear that, but he probably needs to leave. The guy's too erratic. He's way too erratic. And I've given you enough of a blah. This is your third season in, and you're under a proper coach now. So if you perform like this for the rest of the season, like instead of the Fulham game, you probably need to leave. Don't get me wrong. Like, he was better than what Lopetegui was portraying about to be, and so is most of these players. However, it's still not good enough. for what we expect you of. If you can't give me the levels that you gave me when you first went into this club, then you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to leave because otherwise, I don't see you getting better any time from now. Yeah, I'm just being 100% real with it. I'm just being real. Like I know people don't want to hear that, but I need to see more. I don't know why could have stopped driving with the ball, stop dribbling with the ball, stop holding off people, stop using your strength. You're playing in your right position. You have no excuse now. And in fact, since the Man City game in Lopetegui's last game, I've given you no excuses because you've given me a good 45 minutes every time. Even in the false nine, you can play there. It's not like on the left where it's awkward for you. You actually started well in the false nine. You actually started well in the false nine. Let me get to some of your comments. I'm not going to read this whole Chelsea West Ham argument. I really don't care. But big up to all of you, of course. Shout out to Villa fan as well. Emery suspended, so you'll beat us. I don't think that makes much of a difference, my guy. I don't think that makes much of a difference. You've watched Villa play West Ham every time since Emery has joined. I think we're just gonna get outplayed again. Not gonna lie. I'm not expecting a win. I'm not even gonna be too angry. I'll probably be angry on the watch along, but I'm not gonna be too angry in general. Edson Alvarez thinks he is Sesk. Mike, you see why I hate your dusty club? Your fans a bunch of wallets. You're a real one, Charlie. No, honestly, the hate is mutual and justified. I hear it. I'm just trying to get to the comments where it's not about this argument. Okay, I think I've. Fam, you lot have been arguing for time. Jesus Christ. All right. I don't mind you arguing, by the way. I don't really care. Shout out to Colin. Good evening, Max, mate. That was just shite. No focal point. Up front, I feel we need centre backs. Mafro needs gone, and Kilman is not the best. I'm glad to see the youngsters being blooded. I hope signings quickly. Yeah. I hope we sign players as well. I don't think we will. A lot of foreplay, no penetration when it comes to West Ham in the transfer window, but yeah. Oh yeah, stop calling me Michael, bruv. But yeah, I know it's not serious. Shout out to Ahmed as well. Yo, big up, Mike. She had 0 shots on target. That's a big problem as well. Like, I'm gonna get into that as well. We'll see. Our new right back arrived today. We'll have a new hopefully by Monday, so we'll see. Yeah, I think even without the new signings, you'll still if you could line up with the same lineup you did with Arsenal, I still think you beat us. But not because of the manager. I literally heard nothing you said there. Fair. Every time West Ham lose, we're calling you Michael. Charlie, you've started this, by the way, Charlie. This is your fault. Because now I'm being called Fabianski, 5'3", and Michael. Kudus needs to go see a doctor about his decision making, but needs to go therapy. Honestly, it's not even just his decision making though. My main problem is he's not even fucking dribbling anymore. He's not dribbling anymore. Like, what the fuck is going on? Your best attribute is dribbling by far. Driving with the ball. East London Fabianski, bruv. All of them things are real though. Brilliant stuff. But back to where's Ahmed's comment? 0 shots on target is a worry. It's a big worry. Now, this is the problem. I will say with the Fulham game, we didn't create that many chances. The Fulham game was mainly we scored goals off pressing them. Also, no, Mella, I'm not standing next to my door, bruv. I'm not. No. The Villa game, after the first goal, we didn't create anything up until Danny Ings missed his chances at the end. And this game, we had 0 shots. I didn't even know we had 0 shots on target. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, Joy is part of it is like the lineups, but he's just got here, so I'm gonna reserve judgment, and I also do believe that with the right players, like, we can be decent in this system. Well, in any Potter system, I think the problem is like the subs were the right intentions, but when we changed into the 4-2-2//4-2-3-1, it. Off the ball, nobody knew what they were going to do because they clearly had an instruction to, mark a certain way when matching up with them. But when we changed it into the 4-2-2, we were completely unmatched and it allowed them to get more space. And because we're chasing the game, it didn't help. But we need Somerville and Bowen back desperately. We need Todibo back desperately. I think Skull should start against Villa. I think Skull should start. I think Casey should start. I'm even tempted to say, and listen, I don't care at this point. Soler and Orford needs to be the midfield from now on. Soler needs to be the midfield from now on. Soler and Orford. Soler needs to start. Soler should be starting over Kudus, over Paquetá, over any of the deep line midfielders, and over Souček. He should be starting over them 5 because he's playing well. I'd be like rotate a bit more. Give more other players a chance. Guilherme needs to play. I know his future's up in the air. Don't care. Play him. Play him. He wants to still prove himself. I'm sure he still wants to play. I wouldn't start Danny Ings though, because that guy can't. Like, you can't hold it down for 90 minutes. Last 20, cool. You run a lot, but there's not really much. We need players. We do need players, but include as much of the academy as you can as well, because they need to start more games. I think Potter's doing it right, where he's integrating them. He's integrating them like slowly. He's integrating them gradually. It's like Skulls like deserves to start right now, and I'm glad that Skulls is here because that means that Cresswell should eventually leave and Skulls will be the replacement. I know they technically play in different positions now because Cresswell's left centre back, Skulls as a wing back, whatever. But still, like, and to be fair, that was always the plan from the club to include Skulls as the next replacement for Cresswell. I think Orford's better technically than a lot of these players that play in midfield. Like Souček isn't technical. Alvarez he's barely a fucking footballer. And Rodriguez is just there. He's just not good enough. He's not good enough. Simple as that. But I don't mind keeping him for a year. But that's it. That's it. Bruv, comparing Body Blue to Mohamed Kudus is absolutely mental. Shout out to Nick. No London team won the league or FA guys in the last few years. Joe, when was so the last time? Was it Arsenal? Was it that Arsenal FA Cup? Oh my god. Oh my days. So the last domestic thing that was won by an English club was probably that Arsenal FA Cup. Kind of mad. Big up Mike. So you reckon you could get Evan Ferguson at Brighton? He's injured right now, so I don't think so. I think that's I think ex-West Ham employee even reported that what's it called? That we've deterred our interest because of that. We're not getting a Woyani. We're not getting who I don't know who the other Rodrigo Muniz, and we're not getting thingy. We're not getting Evan Ferguson. Man said it would get leaked out that she's had a West Ham player in her DMs. He wants to run a train on them too. I fucking hope not. I hope not. No, Astrid, what? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not. I don't know why you like her so much. Astrid, where is Meady? That's being nice. That's being nice. I don't think we have our own like clout chase and OnlyFans girls, which is thank God for that. Thank God for that. Because we don't need to be cursed as it is. We don't need to be cursed as it is. We're already cursed as a club. I don't need any OnlyFans models taking pictures with West Ham players and the manager for them to us to go fucked off from there. We do not need one of these slags that are taking on 100 man, taking on more players than Ronaldinho, to start taking pictures with West Ham United players. Especially like the Orfords of this world as well. You might actually get distracted. I'm trying to see a footballer break through onto the scene, not some footballer in a scandal. I'm not trying to see anyone move like how Nicholas Jackson did. 17, 18, wasn't it? That was your last one, was it? Oh, fair enough. No, I've already read that. Human form of unseasoned chicken. Mine taking no, definitely not. Definitely not. Everything looks great in the dark. Melon's joined the Charlie train of we need more fatherless women. Jesus Christ, man, what has this turned into? I have not seen her leaks. I have not seen her leaks though. This guy, this, this guy Charlie, man, this guy. This is like we need to start like creating chances, man. We need to start creating chances. But Potter needs to learn that you can't just play Souček 90 minutes every game. You can't play Souček in the front three as well. The way he was used against Fulham was a little bit different to how he was used today, and I think the extra defender didn't help. We didn't need to actually play 5 defenders in this system. We don't. It's a bit like the Amorim thing where Amorim playing Dalot and Mazzarari as wingbacks doesn't work. Like we need to just play one like attacking fullback and one actual attacker, like we did against Fulham and Villa, where Somerville was playing there, Kudus was playing there against Fulham, and we had Emerson, we had Scholes. So one defender, one actual attacker on either side. So we have equal threat, but we also have the ability that they've got enough work rate to cover the wide areas when we're being attacked. That's why I don't think we'll win against Villa, because their attackers that they have, they might. I don't know whether they're going to include Leon Bailey straight in, but even if they're playing Morgan Rogers on the right and Jacob Ramsey with, I'm assuming it's going to be Luca Digne because of his cross that he put in for Tielemans, and Maatsen had a terrible game. Matty Cash as well. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a big ask for whoever's played alongside Kilman. It's going to be a big ask. Do you know how long Somerville was out? I don't think he's going to be out for that long. I think if he's not back for this game, the next game he'll be back for Chelsea. I think we play Chelsea after Villa, or is there a game in between? No, I think no, we do play Chelsea. I think it's at the start of Feb, so he'll be back for then. We'll probably lose that game. I dropped Kudus for Guilherme. He needs to hold bench. Yeah, that's what I said that a couple of minutes ago. Guilherme and Soler, Orford, and Scholes, in my opinion, and because Mavropanos is suspended, Casey. Those are the players that should be in. We're not playing for anything, so you can rotate. We're not playing for anything. There is nothing to play for. Hey, Mike, don't you hate Crystal Palace? Long day if you lost to them. I do, but I don't care. But I really don't care. If I cared, you would have heard me speak with a lot more like vim in my match preview and stuff. My whole thing is like, I cared at the start of the season because at the start of the season I put shades on and everything because we beat them pricks. But they can have their win. Like they don't threaten me. I hate their fans, but they don't threaten me. Like they're not a threat to anyone. I'm really not bothered with Crystal Palace. They can have their win though. Like they outplayed us like 90 minutes off the ball, nullified us. The way they were set up off the ball to cut off the midfield lanes and stuff. Fair play to them. They actually set up properly. They waited on their chances and cool. They were a better team. They deserve to win. As of right now, he brings less to the team than Souček. Fair. I can't even argue that. We play you February the 3rd. The cooking I will give you that day if we win will be generational. Probably everything I heard before. Do you know what? That's good. That's despite the fact that I don't care about the season anymore. That's still a game that I'm going to be up for. I will be pissed off if we don't win. Not because we must like Chelsea is shit. We must win. It's a case of no. I want to win because I want to win, regardless. We're not going to win because the last time we won at the Bridge was 2019, and the last time before that I think it was like 2003 or some shit. We don't win at the Bridge often. But this is the thing. This is why I said we need to win today if you care about results. Because Villa and Chelsea, we're not going to win those games. We might shock people, might get a draw in one of them. Might. And that's a big might. But I want to say this, though, to people. Like, if you're looking at those games and then we lose both of those games, we lose 3 in a row, don't start putting out these hot takes about Graham Potter and saying he's the problem. Because I know what people are like. I know people are going to start clout chasing. But I can see a lot more in this than I can with Lopetegui and the other guy. But also, there's 9 people in here. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Some of you are mods. Let me tell you this. Obviously, the last watch along was a fucking mess. We've got 2 watch alongs coming up. Listen, if there is any more nonsense, whether it's from people I know or people that just put weird comments in, you guys have free reign to ban them from the channel or just put them in timeout. You are mods for a reason. Feel free to do it. You have my full permission. The Michael chat derby. Show up this chat, yeah. If we lose that one, fuck, man. My chat's gonna be fucked. We'll see. Our new right back has only arrived today. We have a new centre back hopefully coming in by Monday, so we'll see. Again, as I said earlier to your earlier comment, you'll still beat us regardless of the new signings. Because look how you set up today against Arsenal. You're gonna beat us. Why is that Greece duck still playing, by the way? Tadebo's injured, so like in terms of senior centre backs, he doesn't really have much choice. However, I would start Casey over him, but I think he's going to start Edson Alvarez at centre back, which I'm not happy with. Arsenal bottled a 2-goal lead. It takes every bit of sting. It takes every bit of sting away from the loss. Oh yeah, that as well. Arsenal losing their lead from going from 2-0 to 2-2 makes me a lot happier. A lot happier. Because it's Arsenal dropping points. Mike's, what do you think of Ever Gessen? I thought he would be a better option than most people. He's not injury prone. Never heard of him. So I maybe need to look into that. You ain't winning against us. West Ham are dusty as it is. If we lose, I'm not here. Fairs, I hear that. Now we'll beat Chelsea. They got Cole in their hand. There's a couple of goals, but yeah, but we got Mavropanos. Hey, yo, what happened? What mess happened last watch along? Basically, my friends, but okay, let me explain something here. My friends are all subscribed to my channel. They don't watch football. Most of like none of them watch football. One of them is a Liverpool fan, but he doesn't really watch football. They decided to troll. They just decided to troll. Like that is simple as that. And then it became all the watch along became about was that the regulars in the chat arguing with my friends, that arguing, everyone's just trolling each other. I tried to get them to stop in the group, but obviously you know what everyone's like, they're not gonna stop. I texted them in the group and like, please stop, do the watch along. But that was never gonna happen. They were gonna keep carrying on. So I actually wasn't looking at the chat for the last 20 minutes. I think the last a portion of the game, because I was really like pissed off with the game. Also, I had it got spoiled for me because I've got people in the house that were watching the game downstairs, and I've got the game delayed, so people were spoiling the game for me, and that was going on. So a lot was going on. I kind of wanted to end the stream early. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie. It was very off-putting. But hopefully that doesn't happen on the other Watch Dogs, because I know why it happened. I'm not gonna say why because it's just a bit long, but I know why they were trolling for that specific day. Marcus Fraser came in chat and spoke. Do you know what it is? There's a lot of jokes they were making that I'm not allowed to explain because it's just long. But yeah. Chelsea fan told me they were surprised that we appointed Potter and he isn't aspiring. That's because he was at Chelsea and he didn't do anything because they were on a transitional period. But compared to us, that's different. We're on our own transitional period, but they just got new owners. They had to unload half of their squad. And he was never made for a Big Six club in the first place. I said that when he got hired, he was never going to succeed there. He should have stayed at Brighton at the time, but I get trying to learn from that situation. But I think he'll do well with us because some people are just big fishes in a small pond and they're better off that way. Like, I think you can see that with players as well. Like, we don't know whether Iraola, Thomas Frank, De Zerbi, I know he's at Marseille, but De Zerbi in the Premier League at a big club, or Marco Silva or Eddie Howe. I guess I know he's at Newcastle. It's a bit difficult with that one. Could do it for the Big Six pressures. Like, I don't know whether they could either. But some people are just made for the caliber below, and I think Graham Potter's one of them. Yeah, it was just long in that chat last time. It was very distracting. Iraola definitely could be at a big club. He's the only one I can see there. Yeah, Adjoy is like maybe. I watched the game in the pub today with the Newcastle Bournemouth game. They outplayed them. I thought Newcastle were edgy, but what Iraola's doing is ridiculous. Like, he doesn't even have a recognised right back, and he doesn't have a recognised striker. He has 11 injuries. He's got his squad settled, and they're battling for Europe. And their recruitment's been fucking sensational. No, just say you don't have to pay. I can make you a mod. I can make you a mod. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro. I'll make you a mod now. If anyone else wants to be mods as well, let me know. Let me know as well, and you can be a mod. But shout out to everyone that's in there. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Any manager could have gone into that Chelsea team, and I don't think things would have changed. I agree. I do kind of agree. I kind of think it's kind of weird because they sacked the manager at the start of the season. But when me saying this, I think they just needed some form of interim for a little bit before they got back on track. But however, it's kind of all worked out now in a sense. They've got Maresca now. We'll see how he does there. You're now a mod, but yeah, it's a difficult one. I never judged him on that. I never judged him on his time at Chelsea because it was just like he was never made for that. The pitches were too big, the lights were too bright. It's not made for you. It's not made for you. This clubs like us are made for him. Clubs that are just in a tier below. Clubs that are trying to get into top four and win trophy, like win an FA Cup, let's say, win trophies. I know people are gonna laugh, but that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it as that. I'm looking at try and win a cup and give me Europe. I will always demand an FA Cup. I'm sorry, I'm always gonna demand that. That's just me though. That's just me. I'm always gonna demand you try and challenge for the FA Cup and Europe. I don't know whether I'm gonna demand it next season because it'll be his first full season. But I do demand the standards to be a bit higher than what they are. Put it this way: I'm one who doesn't settle for draws. Like when we draw against teams, when we drew against Bournemouth and Brighton, it wasn't good enough for me, home and away. But people made excuses. This was with a manager, and that was under a manager who had a pre-season. Right now, I don't really care. I don't really care. Try and beat Chelsea. Try and beat Tottenham. Those are the games, and try and beat Arsenal if you can. Man United away, like obviously today would have been nice, but I don't hate Palace as much as the teams I just mentioned. 3 of those are away days. If you can win those games, that would be great, but it doesn't really mean anything for the rest of the season. It just kind of means I can be shameless for a couple hours. Bozo board will probably sack him at the end of the year. No, he's on a 2.5-year contract. If this was a 6-month thing, then I would understand it. If you even in the calendar year, I don't think they would. I don't think they would sack him unless we're in the relegation battle. Then he kind of would deserve to be sacked. Just beat Everton and don't get relegated. We're not getting relegated. Oh, Everton's another one, actually. You kind of need to beat Everton, not going to lie. We all know why. We all know why you got to beat Everton. I really want to beat Chelsea so badly on the third. Oh, but trust me, we all do. Trust me. Trust me, we all do. I would love to win at the Bridge and actually get to celebrate it. Because I didn't get to celebrate the last win at the Bridge because it was Pellegrini in charge and I wanted him gone. We can't lose to Moyes under any circumstances. Oh my God, the media would have a fucking field day. But I'd like to hope it would be like when Gary O'Neill beat Iraola at the start of Iraola's reign, if we did lose, and then Iraola just kept on dunking on Gary O'Neill and they propelled from there. And people were generally saying that Bournemouth shouldn't have sacked Gary O'Neill. What are they saying now? You ain't heard a peep, you ain't heard one apology, you ain't heard a pundit say they were wrong. I'll be real, if we lose to Everton, I might be fucked. Fuck you, Barrio. Fuck you, Barrio. Here we go. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Fuck's sake, man. I get proper triggered by delete Insta. Just say, well, I'm sorry, you're gonna get beat. We're gonna put you in a spliff. I fucking hope not. I fucking hope not. Shout out to Hammers, Mikey. This is what happens when Sullivan opts for shite managers who have been out of work for 18 months instead of about a half decent much out of contract. Potter shite always has been. I disagree. I don't think Potter is shite, and I don't think it's fair to pin that on him like a few games in, to be honest with you. But I do agree with the intention of what you're saying about Sullivan, like just hiring managers out of work, because that's what we were saying for time. We were saying this for time where it was just like, why aren't you paying compensation? I agree with that. But I do think out of all the 3 options, that Potter was one of the few that I'm actually somewhat happy with, to be honest with you. Like, we could have been linked with much worse managers. I hope you gave Alfie some shit earlier too. It's quick to take you the story at Instant the Bozo. Don't worry, that's what Monday's for. That's what Monday's for. I ain't texting. I'm not really a texter like that. I don't really text people. So I ain't done anything. But that's what Monday's for. That's what Monday's for. Remember, we're not playing for anything. So, and to be fair, Alfie wasn't even doing it on like some poking fun shit, but I'm still gonna use it. I'm still gonna use it. Shout out to Alfie as well. Make sure you're fucking. I can't speak. Make sure you're subscribed to Alfie. Oh no! Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. I constantly message Alfie trolling him. Fair. Fair. That's the thing, like with Alfie, like he doesn't really give shit because he's kind of already done with it. Like he's already been Arteta out, so it's kind of just a case of he's just trying to get through the season. He's pissed off. Like he's pissed off. I won't ban people or just time people out. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, but no, he was Arteta in until like 2 weeks back. He can hold it. All right. Listen, people, if there's any questions you want to put in the chat, put them in now and we'll talk about it. But yeah, I think I've said pretty much everything on the game, but anything West Ham related specifically, and I'll talk about it. But that's the thing with the with Alfie thing. Alfie was always going to try and give Arteta a chance and feel like, okay, if you could give me a trophy, for example, if you can give me a trophy, then cool. Then cool. It is what it is. However, we saw the Newcastle game. We saw that Newcastle game. Alfie was pissed. Alfie was pissed. I'm not dissing Potter. I'm giving him till the end of the season. I'm going to give him probably longer than that. I'll be real, because he hasn't got a preseason. The reason why I was harsher on Lopetegui had a preseason. I didn't see what he was trying to do. We've had 3 games, and people already putting out their opinions on Potter. And people were more patient, with Lopetegui, even though he had a preseason, and we didn't see anything. So Potter's cleaning up Lopetegui's mess, unfortunately. I want our 3 centre-backs to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Saliba, and Kilman, and when everyone's fit, have Summerville wing-back. Same with fully fit lineup. That's what we got to do, because we saw how Summerville impacted that wing-back spot. I'm not saying all of it is because of him, but it definitely makes a difference. It's not an excuse either. I know you're not making excuses. I'm not. But that's what we want to see. Like, because obviously on form, Skull should maybe play left wing back over Emerson, but he doesn't have to play. Emerson, I'm more than happy for Emerson to carry on playing. Emerson's not a problem. I just don't think it helped playing 5 defenders today. I know like it's technically like a 3-back, 5-back system, but it helps when you play a 3-back system to play wingers instead of just purely defenders. I don't really want to see Wan-Bissaka at wing back. I think Wan-Bissaka's definitely improved going forward. Well, not just improved, but embraced himself going forward. Like, just embraced his abilities, his dribbling abilities, his playing through the press abilities to play in possession and stuff. But he's still limited to play wing back. Kudus might have to hold a wing back position too at this moment in time. I can't trust his passing in a 10. You know what I will say? I think he can play on the touchline, yeah. But as long as it's not Wan-Bissaka making the third man run, if that makes sense. If it's someone he can combine with, then I'm more than happy with that. Only because if you hug the touchline, what's it called? With Kudus, Wan-Bissaka's underlapping. You ain't really going to get much threat. But I fully get you. My thing is, Charlie, I don't mind him being in the 10 or him being in the middle as long as he's far up the pitch as possible. Because I don't even remember him having many shots, but I remember his bad passes within the first and second phase of play. Wan-Bissaka was poor today, but he's still a good player. Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. Completely agree. Okay, all right. Keep make sure to smash a like on the video, people. Just reply to someone. All right. But overall, like left wing back, now there's a conversation for it. Maybe get a centre back in on loan, just for like a test trial. See if you can get a young centre back on loan that you can maybe pay for at the end of the season. I'm not too sure who. I'm not too sure who's available, but someone good, please. Like, can we have a good centre back at this club? That would be nice. Somerville, obviously at wing back. Striker situations always shit. How many times this season we talked about the striker situation? How many times? We talked about the striker situation so many times at this club for about 20 years, roughly. About 20 years. And I'm only 21. Like, we haven't, like, I like Diafra Sacco. Obviously, Antonio and Arnautovic were converted to strikers. Hernandez wasn't used properly. Skamaka wasn't used properly. Haller wasn't used properly. I could go through it all. We need a goalkeeper as a priority. It's one of them. I think striker first, probably. Strikers and midfielders, then go on to the goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, Fabianski's a huge detriment. Fabianski's a huge detriment because, like, his distribution, you need to actually have some form of decent distribution at this club. Like, just in general, but in this system. And I know people are going to start talking about Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper coach, ain't even here, so less of that. I really like Emerson, but I don't know if he's going to be the one moving forward. Maybe, yeah. I think obviously he's coming to that age anyway. What's it called? Like, it might be too much for him. Like, wing back to wing back sort of thing. At 31, 32, 33 maybe. I think he's going to be 32 next year. The workload might be too much for him. Not going to lie. He's not going to be as active. He's not going to be the same Emerson that likes to get forward, take shots on, really test keepers. We need to start testing keepers. Like, there's a lot of like passing around, and that's fine because we're trying to get used to how we play. But these players that are creating need to do much better and create proper chances. We need to start testing. Dean Henderson barely had a sweat today. He didn't even sweat today. Probably didn't even shower the nonce. But it is what it is. Did you actually get timed out? Okay. All right. Whoever timed Barrio out, Barrio's cool. Barrio's cool, man. Cresswell in 2025. Luckily, his contract runs out. Hopefully, we don't sign another extension, please. But I don't even think he did much wrong, but he just didn't need to be there. We didn't need 5 defenders on the pitch today. We didn't need that. Why do we need 5 defenders on the pitch? Like, we could just play 3. But I think I've talked about everything I need to talk about, people. So shout out to everyone. Sorry if you got timed out and you didn't mean to get timed out. But listen, make sure to like the video, people. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. We're going to have the what we learned from this game tomorrow. And that'll be the video. I don't know whether I'm going to have to react to fan meltdowns. I'll see. And obviously the stream with Alfie on Monday. Probably after the Chelsea game, if he can make it. If not, we'll keep you updated on the community page. But make sure to subscribe. Social medias are in the description. GV on Mics on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, the GV on Mics clips accounts on Instagram and TikTok as well, if you want the best clips. And yeah, that's a justice for Lumpy. Get the fuck out of here, TKO. But make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.